Asia Prime. Russia dramatically escalated its standoff with the West over the war in Ukraine on Wednesday, cutting natural gas off to NATO members, Poland and Bulgaria, and threatening to disconnect even more nations.
In response, European leaders decried the move as blackmail. A day after the United States and other Western allies vowed to speed more and better military supplies to Ukraine, the Kremlin upped the ante, using its most essential export as leverage. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that this had been necessary in response to Western sanctions and Russia remained a reliable gas supplier. State-controlled Russian giant Gazprom said that it was shutting off the countries because they refused to pay in Russian rubles. The tactic could eventually force targeted nations to ration gas and deal another blow to economies suffering from rising prices. It could also deprive Russia of badly needed income to fund its war effort. Benchmark gas prices in Europe shot up on the news that Poland and Bulgaria were cut off, marking another dark turn in a war that has revived the geopolitical rifts of the Cold War. Independent energy expert Thierry Bross said that Poland was better prepared to cope without Russian supplies, while on the other hand, Bulgaria was getting 80% of its gas from Russia. Bross also said that Russia's move was a political decision, adding it was nothing to do with economics.
8% of the Russian supply. 8% is very easy to replace. As you've seen, prices have increased a little bit, but we are still way below the record high of last year, earlier this year. So we can manage this. The question is, if this cut happens for Germany, then this will be a systemic risk, and we are not very well prepared for this.
Meanwhile, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has described the move by Russia to hold gas delivery to certain European Union member states as blackmail on Wednesday.
Russia dramatically escalated its standoff with the West over the war in Ukraine, cutting natural gas off to NATO members, Poland and Bulgaria, and threatening to disconnect even more nations. Russia has requested that certain so-called, quote, unfriendly, unquote, nations pay for their gas in rubles, but von der Leyen stated the request was contrary to the sanctions currently imposed, adding that most contracts are designated to be paid in euros or dollars, and companies with such contracts should not accede to the Russian demands. Natural gas prices in Europe shot up 25% before the market opened Wednesday and then eased off but remained significantly higher.
We will ensure that Gazprom's decision has the least possible impact on European consumers. Today, member states met in the gas coordination group. Poland and Bulgaria updated us on the situation. Both Poland and Bulgaria are now receiving gas from their EU neighbours. And this shows, first of all, the immense solidarity among us, but it also shows the effectiveness of past investments. Second, we will continue our work to ensure sufficient gas supply and storage in the medium term. Our action plan, Repower EU, will help to significantly reduce our dependency on Russian fossil fuels